time just tell us to forget it. We'll just knock it out.
Right.
Okay. Just tell me when you're ready, Jason.
Right.
Ron?
Sorry guys, you caught me and just got all fouled up.
That's okay. We got lots of power. Here, so.
Where were we? Just finished one question, right?
Are you ready or are you still working?
No, let's take a seat.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Laura Ferris. Joe isn't here right now.
Laura, this is George.
Hi.
Bush. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I need to know an answer pretty soon on this March 2nd or March 9th dinner at the White House for the Texas people.
Uh-huh.
Would you make a note of that and have Joe call me
Okay.
with some kind of resolution, or at least tell me where their log jam is so I can try to get it resolved?
Okay. And how can I reach you?
You can reach me through the White House switchboard, George Bush.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. All right. We're going to leave in about 15 minutes to the aerobic center.
You ready, Jason?
All right.
Wait. It's up. Money, but what are some of the things you have to spend money on besides player salaries?
Well, first of all, you said obviously the Rangers make a lot of money. Well, one, that's not so obvious. The definition of making money is the difference between revenues and expenses. We spend money on player salaries, which is the most significant thing. Like, you cannot take that lightly. That is right now a $10.5 million increase. Next year we anticipate about $10.5 million expenditure. Next year we anticipate spending about $13 million. And given player salaries, the escalation of player salaries, the way they're going, there is no telling what percentage of our revenues player salaries will be unless there's some kind of resolution to the union/management problems that loom on the horizon. So there's a significant amount of money we spend on the players. Player salaries are now averaging about $600,000 per player, major league wide. We also spend money on our minor leagues. We're got the best front office in baseball, the best general manager, Mr. Grieve, who wisely understands that in order for the Rangers to compete, we have to have enough really good, solid minor league players to be able to keep our roster alive with major league talent if and when some of the bigger players get to the point where we can't afford them. So we spend a lot of money on the minor league scouting, Sandy Johnson's department. Of course, we own our own stadium, so stadium upkeep is ours. Let's see. Those are the big expense items.
What do you think about arbitration?
I can't stand it. It's a way for rich teams to pass on, and we're not a rich team relative to the coastal teams, but it's a way for the excesses of the coastal teams to pass on their excesses to the poorer teams. And by that I mean if the Yankees decide to pay their right field, which they may be able to afford, X millions of dollars, and that right fielder has a mediocre year, and we have a right fielder who happens to have an excellent year, then our payroll is based not upon what may be fair or not fair, but it's based upon what the Yankees paid. So arbitration is a way for everybody to share expenses, and yet in our sport, with the exception of the CBS national contract, we don't share revenues.
How about free agency?
I like free agency. I think it's naive to think, and I think it's wrong to believe that in any way should, a contract not be transferable after a period of time. I think it's important for the stability of baseball and the financial well-being of the sport to allow a club to develop. And ultimately, a player, if he's being mistreated, ought to be allowed, in his opinion, to shop his talents in the free agent market.
There's a lot of talk about moving the stadium. And
yeah.
If it is moved, what kind of effect will that have on Arlington if you move it to Dallas?
Well, it'll hurt Arlington if we move it to Dallas. It'll help Dallas if we move it to Dallas. But I'm not really concerned about political entities. I'm more concerned about our fan base and the Texas Rangers. Our mission is, I view, twofold. One is to worry about the economic health of the Texas Rangers. Our fans, I would hope, would want owners that cared about the economic viability so that the club would be around and be able to afford good players. And secondly, I worry about, and most importantly, what's best for our fans, because if we're doing something that's good for our fans, it really does benefit us economically. So, yeah, the questions, there's two questions. One, do we need a new stadium? And if so, where are we going to put it? And my answer to the new stadium is absolutely, do we need a new stadium? And we need it for a lot of reasons. We need it because the old other one's fallen down. So the minor league park. We need it because in order to pay players the monies we need to pay them, we ought to have a better revenue per capita. We've got too many outfield seats relative to the rest of baseball. If everybody else's stadium looked that way, we'd be fine playing there. But we got to compete, and as you wisely mentioned, arbitration, we share expenses, and therefore we have to do very good on our revenue side to compete with the teams we share expenses with. We need to recognize that we're in the entertainment business. We're just not in the baseball business. We need more ladies' restrooms. I mean, a lot of our fans are single mothers who bring their kids, and we don't have enough ladies' restrooms out there. And so we need a modern, fantastic facility, which will fill up. I think, I'm convinced. Now, where it's going to be, I don't know. It could be in Arlington. It could be in Dallas, but we're doing extensive studies to make sure that any decision we make that will be a combination of demographics as well as financial is one that will not erode our fan base.
Do you have any kind of ballpark figure what it would cost? I know you're not looking for...
$150 million.
Okay. No dome, no...
Not for me, as far as I'm concerned. I'm an outdoor grass man, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of that depends upon who our partners are going to be, and by partners I mean the financial source of our revenue. But you know, I'd love to try to replicate the intimacy of our stadium. It's going to be awfully hard to do because when you move 12,000 seats in between the foul poles, which we intend to do, then you're not going to have it. Now, it's going to be close to the foul lines, but it's not going to be that cozy. But it'll be as cozy as any major league park, put it that way.
One last question.
Sure.
The free agents now, a top free agent like Kirby Puckett, Mark Langston, well, they're running about $3 million a year. Can the Rangers still keep up with that? Are you, as owner, looking forward to paying that kind of money?
No, I'm not looking forward to paying that kind of money. We paid Julio $2 million a year. Yeah, we can afford maybe one player, but you see, I happen to believe in the marketplace strongly. That I do believe that the frenzy that has taken place, there's going to be pain and suffering on behalf of the teams that were participating in the frenzy. I remember the Bruce Sutter years. Bruce Sutter was a great reliever for the Cardinals, who skipped the Cards, went to the Braves, multi-year, long-term contract. He hurts his arm. You know, he pitched none for the Braves. I suspect you'll find pitchers that, with 4 or 5 year contracts, are not going to be able to fulfill all their, you know, all the innings that they're going to have to pitch in order to justify the high salaries. And so I think what you'll see is sanity return back into the marketplace with a couple of major disappointments. And we're going to try our best not to participate in that craziness.
How about a player strike next year? What do you think? Is there going to be one?
2 scenarios. One is player strike, one is owner's lockout, both of which would be a cessation of play. It's actually a work stoppage. The idea is to recognize that at some point in the season there's going to be a work stoppage, and so when would you rather have it? At the beginning of the season, before all the kids get out of school, or in the middle of the season when the players typically stop working, when all the families are out? My reaction is I hope not. I think it'd be bad for baseball. It doesn't matter who precipitates the crisis, everybody's going to get blamed. But it may happen, and it may happen if the owners precipitate it because they're trying to bring fiscal sanity into the ballpark, into the baseball economics, because some of us really believe we cannot survive with salaries at $3, $4, $5 million a year.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, boy, thanks for your interest.
Go ahead.
Make sure you got it.